If you grew up too fast, people may have called you too serious, too mature, or said you missed out on being a kid. But psychology sees something very different. Growing up too fast doesn't mean you're broken. It often means your mind adapted early. What looked like a loss was actually the start of rare inner strengths that many people never develop at all. If this resonates, stay with me, because these are not random traits. They're patterns psychology keeps noticing in people who had to mature early. Let's talk about the 5 rare strengths you probably carry without even realizing it. The first strength is deep emotional awareness. Psychology shows that when children take on adult roles early, they become highly attuned to emotions, their own and others. You likely learned to read moods, tones, and silences before you learned how to relax. Maybe you could sense tension in a room instantly, or you knew when something was wrong without anyone saying a word. As an adult, this can feel heavy. You might feel too sensitive. But reframed positively, this is emotional intelligence. You notice what others miss. You understand people at a deeper level. Research indicates that strong emotional awareness is linked to better relationships, leadership, and empathy. What once kept you safe now helps you connect. The second strength is self-reliance under pressure. If you grew up too fast, you probably learned early that you couldn't always rely on others, so you adapted. Psychology shows that early responsibility builds problem-solving skills and resilience. When things go wrong, you don't panic, you assess. Think about how you handle stress today. While others freeze or wait for help, you move into action mode. You've already survived uncertainty before. This doesn't mean you don't need support. It means you know how to stand on your own when needed. That's a rare strength in a world that often collapses under pressure. The third strength is strong inner discipline. Research indicates that children who mature early often develop a heightened sense of responsibility. You might be the person who follows through, keeps promises, or thinks long-term when others chase short-term comfort. Maybe you had to be the reliable one. While that role can feel exhausting, psychology shows that self-discipline is one of the strongest predictors of life success. You can delay gratification. You can stick with hard things. You can build something meaningful because you're not easily distracted by chaos. This isn't about being rigid. It's about having an inner structure that keeps you steady when life gets unpredictable. The fourth strength is the ability to find meaning in hardship. People who grew up too fast often ask deeper questions earlier. Why is this happening? What does this mean? Psychology suggests that meaning-making is a powerful coping mechanism. Instead of shutting down, your mind learned to interpret pain. That's why you may be drawn to philosophy, psychology, or self-reflection. You don't just experience life, you analyze it. And over time, this turns into wisdom. What once felt unfair becomes insight. You understand complexity. You see both sides. You don't oversimplify people or situations. This depth allows you to guide others, even if you never intended to. The fifth strength is quiet strength, not loud confidence. If you grew up too fast, your strength is probably subtle. You're not always the loudest voice in the room. Psychology shows that people who matured early often develop internal confidence rather than external validation seeking. You don't need constant praise to know your worth. You've been through enough to trust yourself. This kind of strength doesn't show off, but it lasts. It's the ability to stay grounded, calm, and steady when life gets intense. You may underestimate this because it feels normal to you, but to others it feels safe, reassuring, and rare. Here's the reframe that matters most. Growing up too fast didn't just take something from you. It also gave you tools that helped you survive, adapt, and become deeply capable. The goal now isn't to harden further. It's to allow softness alongside strength, to let yourself rest, receive, and heal without losing who you are. If you see yourself in these traits, know this: you're not behind, you're not broken, you're not too much. You're someone who learned early, and that learning shaped rare inner strengths. And if you want to understand your personality more deeply, uncover hidden traits, and turn self-awareness into self-respect, subscribe to this channel. We explore the psychology behind who you are, calmly, honestly, and without judgment. You didn't grow up too fast for nothing. You grew strong.